Welcome to the Journey to the Hunt podcast, where we talk about all things outdoors, hunting, life, and family related. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Journey to the Hunt podcast. We hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. I'm your host, Alan Yates. Got my host slash co-host slash good buddy slash it is what it is, Mr. Mark Newman. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? How's it going, brother?
Oh, man, you know how it goes, man. Living the dream, working hard, trying to balance this act of work and hunting and everything like that. So, which brings us to our topic for today. Work hard, play harder is going to be the topic of this one, folks. But before we get into it, I want everybody right now, whatever platform you're on, we appreciate you guys. We want to, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, hit that like button. More so, drop us a comment. Let us know what you guys have been thinking about the series so far. Give us some feedback, any ideas for some topics, anything you guys want to hear, anything you guys want to hear us talk about again, questions, comments, concerns, you name it. Wherever you're at right now, go drop that comment, go drop the subscription, go give us a follow. We appreciate it. So
Thank you.
yeah, guys, thank you all for all the feedback. It's been pretty awesome. This has been a pretty fun ride so far. Big shout out to the guy behind the scenes, Mr. Jason. We want to thank him for mixing everything down, for dropping us on all our shows. He's the one behind the scenes doing all our editing and stuff like that. We can't have it done without him too. So, Mr. Jason, big thank you to you as well.
Appreciate it.
And so, without further ado, let's get into some shit. So,
Hell yeah.
work hard, play harder, right? So we all have jobs, we all have lives, some of us have a wife, some of us got kids, some of us got dogs, cats, wild stock, wild animals. I don't know what you got going on, but we all have to find like the checks and balances to make this hunting thing work for us, right? So we discussed a lot about like boots on ground, having to get out there, having to do it, but a lot of times some of that stuff is a little easier said than done. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of understanding, pre-planning. It takes a lot to be able to get the time that we want in the woods to make happen, right? So, Mark, you're a family man. I'm a family man. We both got wives, both got kids, both have pretty wild and crazy jobs when it comes to like hours and time away from home. Both of us aren't always home as much as we like to with our jobs. So, how does one manage, right? Because you hunt multiple seasons. I hunt a couple of seasons, working my way into multiple seasons. For example, I deer hunt and I turkey hunt, right? So a lot of my stuff is out of state. I do a lot of traveling. I hunt my own state, but I also hunt Indiana, hunt Michigan, hunt Ohio a little bit, working on getting back to Texas, hunt Illinois. Illinois is a huge ass state on top of it, right? So like, how does one make it work? How does one who's just getting into hunting go, man, how do you guys find the time for this? Like, what is it that you do? What do you give up? What's the understanding? Like, how do you find the time to get yourself out there, man?
I think it starts with a great family core, in my situation, my wife supports it. She's not always thrilled when I'm going hunting, but for the most part, she supports it, and she likes to see the kids involved with it. It's not like it's it's not a problem to where, she supports me in it. So that's huge there, man. I can't thank her enough. I'm lucky.
Yeah, when you're not doing it selfishly, like on your own, when you have like the incorporation of the family and others to be involved with it, it probably lessens the burden, when you're having some sort of like growth and development as like family, right?
You are the mental states, and I've seen it both ways. The times that, she is kind of leaning on, hey, you've been going, like deer season, man. If anybody knows me, I work a weird schedule. Like I said, I work on a boat, so I'm gone 28 days. I'm home 28. Well, deer season hits, and it's around the rut. I'm in a deer stand every day for 28 straight days. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
you got 56 days. I mean, that's a burden on anybody, right?
That's a burden, man. And she definitely feels the wear of it. I have people come in and hunt with me. I mean, our house is always during deer camp, man. It's like it's nonstop. It's a great time. We have a lot of fun, but it takes the whole family.
Did she grow up and did she grow up in an atmosphere like this, or was this something that she got acclimated to? Like, and the reason why I asked is like my wife is just, we never did this. She didn't grow up in it. We're city folk. Yeah. I'm, project baby, grew up in the city, moved everywhere, right? Like, when you grow up in it, I think there's a little bit more of an understanding for when your husband, does something that you saw, like your pops do, your grandfather do, your uncle do, your brother do, or something like that, right? Like, so did she grow up in a family that hunted, or did you?
Yeah. This is pretty normal to her. Yeah. So that helps. Yeah. Like you said, which I'm not going to go into too much of a personal, but yeah, she was used to it, and it was, from the time that we dated, that's what advice to any young couple out there, and take it for what it is. But when y'all get together, don't quit what you're doing and be so far up each other that you wear each other out. It's one thing to love each other, support each other and stuff like that. But if you totally change your mannerisms, like I've seen guys do it over the years, they'll quit hunting altogether. They're following their girlfriend or whatever around like a puppy dog. And then next thing you know, 5 years down the road, they're not happy, and it's because
I've seen this. Yeah. I've actually seen this already. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say like I watched like the development of people. I shouldn't say I haven't like watched a friend of mine go through this, but I have heard this story. And I have conversated with enough people now. If you guys have seen any of the Journey to Hunt episodes before we drop the podcast, right? Some of the people that I spoke to are in that situation. They hadn't hunted in years because they thought that's what the wife, or that's what they thought that the family wanted. And they changed who they were. And now they're not happy in their day-to-day life.
Exactly.
They're missing something. They're not complete in and of themselves, right? And like, that sucks, man. So like,
that's where I'm at. Like, don't ever change who you are to make other people happy, because at the end of the day, it's all about communication. You're right. And at the end of the day, if you change yourself, you're not going to be happy with yourself.
You change yourself, who are you?
Exactly. So
right.
And that's where I think a big supporting cast. I ain't trying to cut you off, but at home, I mean, like I said, she knew what it was from day one, and she stuck with me. Thank God. I mean, I've tested her. Trust me, I'm lucky.
And from the flip side, man, again, not to repeat myself, but like, we didn't grow up doing it. So my wife, was somebody who had to go through a developmental change in our relationship with myself all of a sudden, who never, bro, I was one of those ones. I didn't fucking sleep in people's houses. I didn't go away for weekends. I didn't do this, that, the other thing. Like, I was a homebody. If anybody came, they came to my house and spent the weekend, or they came with what we were doing type of deal, right? So like, now all of a sudden, like, I'm out the house, I'm gone for 2-3 days here, I'm gone for 2-3 days here, and I feel like at first it was probably a lot, because at first I was it is what it is, right? I was fucking chasing the dream at first. Right. So I was like trying to just go wherever, however, get it in where I fit in. Sometimes things weren't planned for. They were just like last minute and what have you. And I feel like now, after a couple of seasons of doing it, what I feel like I learned, and I'm trying to still yet get better, but like, hunting season is what it is. And you can't always prepare for the days. But I feel like if I prepare her or the family and even myself, right, and I plan days with people, at least pencil them in, that it takes some of the burden off, because you can prepare for that time, right? You can discuss that time. There's a build up to that time. There's a preparedness for that time, right? So like, now what I try to do is, now that I've had a couple seasons under my belt, still learning, right? But nonetheless, like, I at least know now the relative time of year or month, more specifically, even like the week, that I want to go somewhere. So now it's more of like a conversation. Hey, babe, look, I got this month to turkey hunt. I got these, 2 weeks that I can be with X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth. Like, what works best? Which one do you mind me going to, and stuff like that? Like, yeah, communication and being prepared, I feel as though is the key to work hard and playing harder, bro. Because like we ain't giving it up. Like, right? Let's
We're
face
here
it,
to
the shit ain't
stay.
stopping. Right?
We're here to stay. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
clocking in, we're checking in. It is what it
yeah.
is.
And like that goes for scouting time too. That goes for like how we discussed in one of our early episodes, Boots on Ground. Which, by the way, guys, go listen to Boots on Ground. We want to hear y'all's comment on that one. That's a fun episode for Mark, Jason, and I, and stuff like that. But that's also an episode where we talk about a lot of being prepared and stuff like that. And Boots on Ground is one of those things too, where it comes into the work hard, play hard. Like you got to get your ass out there and not be no Instagram photo fucking hunter who dresses up in camo, walks off a beaten trail, takes some photos, and says that you're out there doing some scouting, but yet you took more photos of yourself than you did doggone, trail cam photos.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you took 14 photos of yourself because the only thing you were thinking about was content for fucking social media when you should have just been worried about like where the trails end, split off. Are they worn? Are they last year's, this year's?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But that also goes with like, being out there, right? I mean, what do you,
and that's the thing. Like you said, you got to put the work in, and you will get the reward. You know what I mean? It's just like you said, boots on ground. And it's hard, there's guys, like you said, are working, overtime, putting in 50, 60 hours a week, and they can't get out there to put the work in because they got to put the work in at work to afford to get out there. I mean, there's a lot of different situations. Now, for the guys out there just snapping pictures, just to be out there taking selfies, it's, yeah, we ain't got time for it.
We know it happened.
Dude.
Everybody,
the industry's ate up with it.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about it and they don't, but that shit happened, man. People just, they do that type of shit. So, but you bring up a good point, bro. You bring up a really, really, really good point. I'm kind of glad you touched on it, man. Like, what does that guy do who's putting in 50, 60 hours, who has his kid every other weekend, or who has a wife that, has the honey to-do list and shit like that? Like, what would be like your advice to that guy who can't
do your research? Yeah, do your research. Watch the weather is the biggest thing. Pick the days. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of where you can't really plan months out type of deal. If you got to work hours like that, and it's tough, but save those extra days for, okay, it's gonna, you got temperatures dropping, early November, no rain, winds low, it's going to be crisp and cool. Them days are going to be hot in the woods when the deer, get to hitting. So, save those couple days. It might not be the first week of November. It might be the second week, but you just kind of got to watch it. And use
and
your
so
time
what? They're e-scouting? Is it more like a are you saying like they should be more? They should understand the e-scouting aspect of it, like a little bit more. Like start doing that.
Yeah, I would say moon phases. Understand. Like even for fishing.
Careful,
like,
moon phases is an open can of worms with that one.
Yeah, which I know it's.
It is. We'll do that on another one, but I get your point. Right, keep going.
Right. Which I, like I said, I watch more of the temperatures myself than the phases of the moon. I watch, rain. If it's, I just see what that's going to do. And like fishing, even like, I'd like to run river gauges. I'll watch the river stages to let me know when, especially crappie fishing in the creeks. I watch the river stages to let me know when it's hot. Things like that. And I don't, I used to just go. Like, the river was 50 foot at Cincinnati. I'd probably try to go fish. It's just crazy because you ain't gonna catch shit. But as I get old, as I get older and more, and I learn more about it, I learn to use my time accordingly. So what I'm getting at, like, especially if you got young kids or, your wife or anything, use the extra time when the conditions aren't going to be worth a damn. Use that time to spend with your family that you ain't missing, and save the good days for your, like, hey, honey, look, just letting you know it's going to be hot this week. You know, I'm gonna be in the way instead of just beating the, you know. And I'm all for putting your time in, but there's so many tools nowadays with, you know, with the hunting apps and everything like that. I mean, there's a lot of tools to help you, give you guidance to the best days that are going to be out there, you know. So to me, like you say, he's scouting. I think, you know, I haven't even invested in them yet. And I'm going to this year is the cellular cameras. You know, everybody's telling me, man, you got to.
That's got to be one of my next investments. It genuinely is, especially living in the city and far away from a lot of the land that I actually hunt. That is 100% on the list of to buys for this year.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to do the same myself. But, you know, because, I mean, that's real time. You don't, for one thing, I think they are great because you don't have to go in there. You don't have to put the scent on the ground. You can check it. You know, you set that camera. You don't have to even go check them. So you ain't going in there disturbing nothing. You know, it'll let you know. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? That it's a hell of a tool, man. It is.
Scent and pressure. You minimize scent and you minimize pressure. The two worst things that you could possibly do in any hunting woods is put your scent down and put pressure down. You know, like, and that completely minimizes it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a big fan of them. I don't even have one yet, but I'm gonna grab me some. You know, just trying to make a move on which one I want, and you know, we'll see. So, but
so do you? You know, for the person who's trying to understand. You know, Mark spent a lot of time working his way into understanding what he wants to hunt, the days he wants to hunt, where he wants to hunt. I'm on the come up with starting to understand this and what have you. But, you know, priorities over privileges, right? Like to Mark's point, if you know that there's a day that's just, you know, that you want to go out, but it's not ideal, you're second guessing yourself. You know that you still have a little bit more time down the road, you know, like spend that at home time. Show the family, show the wife, show the whoever the kids, doesn't matter who it is, that you're willing to, you know, understand on how to balance this, that you're willing to put your priorities over your privileges, because at the end of the day, it is a privilege to do what we do, right? So you need to just make sure that you do that. But like, you know, knowing what you want instead of figuring out what you want makes a huge difference when it comes to being able to go out there and enjoy yourself, right? Because we all want to get. Sure. I mean, if it was all up to us, I mean, shit, I'd be out there every doggone day. No questions asked. Fuck, I'd be out there every weekend. I'd be a weekend warrior. So I'd be that so-called weekend warrior, but like it'd be every freaking weekend. So I don't know how you call it the weekend warrior, right? But like I'd be out there all the doggone time, you know. And especially the out-of-state trips, man. Like,
I think that, you know, guys like us, especially, we need that to keep our balance in life. You know what I'm saying? Like if I sat on the couch with my wife every day, she would get tired. She would want to kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the type of person that's got to get out there, man. I gotta feel that freedom, man. You know, when you're out there, especially when you're hunting on the road, like you get out there and you get in new places and you're out of your comfort zone. And it's just like you get a sense of freedom, man, that you can't buy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know it. And I've been with you too. So for everybody who doesn't know, Mark's a stay on the go type of guy. Mark is not a let's sit down and chill. Mark is not let's sit down and talk about it. Let's talk as we walk type of guy too. So, but yeah, man, like, you know, and you know, right? I do a lot of I do more out of state hunts than I do local hunting, like by probably 3 to 1, you know, or more. I mean, again, I'm going out of state this weekend in 2 more days. Once again, I buy a lot of out of state licenses and stuff like that, you know. But when I do my out of state hunts, I've narrowed it down to like I have specific weekends or specific days or a specific time of year that I'm gonna go. I've done my homework all the way up and prior to. I have people who help me that are out there. I have setups that I remember from last year. I have notes from last year. I've done my homework. I've done my planning, you know, because like, yeah, you need it. Yeah, you want to enjoy it. It's hunting. It's not killing, but you're going with a goal, right? Your goal is to harvest to the best of your ability, right? So harvest, kill, lay one down, pick your fucking points out, how you call
And
it.
especially like you said in your situation where you travel so much and you're limited on your time because you work so many hours, you put that work in. Hands down, Alan, you put in more hours than just about anybody I know, man. You know what I mean? And you stay on that grind, man. I admire you for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever hear you bitch and complain about it either. You know what I mean?
Nah,
That's what.
I'm
I
I'm
like
doing
it.
what I love,
That's
man. I
awesome.
love to make money. I fucking love
Yeah.
making money. I love being known as someone who works hard. It's actually
Who's a
something I pride
provider.
myself off of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Right.
then by doing that, I'm still able to go, hunt and do what I do. Teach his own with the whole working hard thing, because like nowadays you can't hurt people's feelings, right? You can't say and do certain shit. So like everyone's they work the hardest. That you can't tell me blah 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 blah. But like for example, like this weekend, I'll go to work. I'll go to work Thursday night. I mean, we talk on my ride to work. I'll be up and out of the house by 11 o'clock at night. I'll get out of work 11 o'clock on Friday morning. I'll take a 5-hour ride to Michigan, and I'm gonna go roost some fucking birds. And you know what? I might make a story about it. I might make a post. I might not. I'm not hunting to be a fucking social media hunter. I hunt because I enjoy hunting, and I use social media as a tool to help provide me opportunities to hunt. I'm not looking to become the next sponsored person because I have 2,400 fucking posts, 4,000 people following me. I killed one doggone animal in 6 freaking years, but I look good in all my posts wearing all these different camos that I bought. Like that's not me, bro. That's never been me. Do I have a brand? Yeah, I do. Journey to the Hunt. It's a brand. You know what I mean? But I hunt and then tell my story. I'm not trying to figure a story. All right, if you're the guy that's out there and you killed one animal in the last 6 years, and you're out there trying to become the next sponsored hero that's out there, like, you're not doing it in the right way. Like, let your work speak for yourself. Let your hunt speak for yourself. Put the work in, put the time, and let the sponsorships happen. You're not going to get a sponsor because you post good shit. And maybe so. And there's nothing wrong with being sponsored. There's nothing wrong with, making sure no one notices you. I've been sponsored, by a couple companies before too. But like, do it because do it because you want to be a hunter who somebody sponsors, instead of yearning for that sponsor to become a hunter, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. You couldn't say it much better than that. You get out there, like I said, I used to just, look for sponsorships to get my name out there, it had nothing to do with hunting. It was more of, I'm using the equipment. If I'm going to use it and take a picture of it, I might as well, try to help myself as I help them. Kind of idea was my idea behind the whole thing in the beginning. So if I'm going to take the time to post a picture on social media of holding this or doing that, talking about this, I feel like my work should be accounted for. And that's where and there's nothing wrong with that. And and chasing a dream too, everybody started somewhere, I'm sure. Unless you come from money and you can just buy, your TV shows or your hunting shows, or, there's nothing wrong with starting as a pro staffer and working your way up through the field. It's just like working your way up through any field. If that's the way, if you want to get into the industry side of this, you got to put the work in, and you got to do the pit, and you got to do,
and I do agree. I do agree, but I think you should be focused on becoming the best hunter you can be, and let those type of things naturally happen, instead of going out there and trying to stage yourself to be something you're not, for the benefit of that. I think that
of the image. I agree.
To me, that there's a difference, right? So again, the end goal for a lot of people would be to get some good product, free product, sponsored by a good company. Hell, make some money off of it, become somebody out of it. Like, I'm not saying that that's not a great goal to have, that's not what somebody should be yearning for, or that's a wrong mindset to have. If you've gotten to this point, listen to what I'm saying too. I'm not saying that if you're out there doing a photo while you're hunting, it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is, if you go out there, focus more on it than you are the act of hunting in your heart, then to me, some of y'all gonna love or hate me for this one. To me, you're misguided. Be the best hunter you can be, and let that speak for itself. And hey, I shoot a mission bow. If I happen to kill something with my mission bow after a successful hunt, I might just say I shot it with a mission bow. But I'm not going to go check my freaking DMs to see if Mission DM'd me like, you know, hey, you're the next sponsor. Like, no,
right.
I did it,
and you got to check in, you know, and that's where like you did it because that's what you want to do. And I ain't trying to cut you off, but that's where, you know, it's anybody that's getting started doing that. If they think, you know, a little word of advice is be careful the companies you choose to mess with. Which I've been lucky. Like I said, I've been, you know, I have the companies I've worked with in the past and the companies I work with now are really good companies. I mean, the people, you know, they are, what's the you know, the relationship, the customer relationship, you know, they,
that means a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say nothing bad about any, even the companies I don't even work with no more. You know, they've all been pretty fair, and pretty good, but there's a lot of fake people in the industry. You know that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that'll use you as stepping stones. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you got to be careful who you mess with and who you don't mess with. You know, and it's
work
out
hard,
there.
Play harder. You know, working hard is understanding who's out there as well. You know, because if you are trying to fit that role and be that person, you got to do some homework. You got to work hard into understanding what role you want to be, who you want to put you out there. Right. I mean, there's a lot that comes with that because there are a lot of benefits to when you do get sponsored by a good company and you get to use all their cool shit and, you know, play with their stuff. Right. You know, it falls into that whole work hard, play hard.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, you're representing that company. So you gotta, you know, you got to set a good example, you know, and that's where, you know, it's just be yourself and hopefully, you know, it's the right thing. But, you know, the industry, it's just like any industry though, man. There's a lot of cutthroat people out there. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful. Be careful of what you choose and what you know, if you want to step into this, you know, it ain't for the faint of heart, put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's out there to make a name for themselves. You know what I mean? When you start getting to certain levels of it, you know, everybody's out, and that's, you know, it is what it is. But
and hence the reason why the sponsors that I had, I no longer affiliate myself with, because it was as soon as that they thought that there was the next up and coming me out there, I wasn't the next me who they signed on, right? So, and it's just one of those things where, like, you know, everybody has more momentum than the other, but you need to be prepared to not be the one that has the momentum or to be seen in a different light after a certain amount of time. And teach his own with that one, you know what I mean? But you know, I do think that we've discussed and we've told a lot of people what we think it means to, you know, work hard, play harder. I do think that people understand that, you know, in order to make this happen, this takes time, this takes energy, this takes sacrifice, this takes knowledge, this takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of gas money, a lot of mileage.
A lot of sacrifice. Yeah.
And
the more you want to put into this, and the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I can contest to that, man. I put well over, and you know, I got the miles to prove it. I got the data receipt from when I bought my car to prove it. The last hunting season, I put over 14,000 miles on all the trips that I did. You know,
that's cruising.
But you know what, man? It's what I wanted to do. It was my sacrifice. It was what I want to do. I work my ass off to be able to go do this type of shit, and I'm going to do as much of it as I can, as much as that's allowed to. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, hopefully we've enlightened y'all to what it is to, you know, especially some of you new people out there, or somebody who's been feeling a little like let down or defeated with the whole fact of like, man, I just haven't had the time lately, because you hear that a lot. Man, I just don't have the time lately. I just don't have the time lately, especially the way the world's going right now. Everybody feels they don't have time and shit like that. But let's not forget, man, time is what you make it. Time is how I want to say this. Time can be planned for, right? Can nobody physically take your time away, right? You can create a mindset where like, shit, I can't go do this, but you really can. So like, you know, balance your time, Figure out what is important to you in this hunting world, where it is important that you end up to, hunt, and make the time to go do it, right? Work your ass off, prove your worth.
Exactly. And that kind of goes back too with, like you were saying, the sponsorship and the industry things, value your time with these companies too. Don't take yourself for granted. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying don't help out these companies either, especially, if the company's in a good place, but value your time. Time, you can't, that's one thing in life you cannot buy back is time. So those times in the field that, I might miss, something, which I don't miss none of my boys' baseball games, or anything like that. I make sure I make it to a lot of all that if I can, but just say if you did miss, one game here, that's valuable time that you'll never get back because you was in the field trying to harvest an animal. You know what I'm saying? And then if you make one post for that company, that weighs, that values, because I just missed this, this moment I could have had with my son or my daughter, to harvest this animal, and I took the time to help you. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, you're right.
And I'm not. Yeah. So I mean, but like I said, hard work pays for itself. You keep checking your boxes, you keep clocking in, and people notice things. And it's just like
people
that.
People notice hard work, bro. People notice hard work at the end of the day. You can't buy back time, but you can plan to have time. That's the way I look at it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But hard work speaks for itself, man. Hard work pays off.
It does.
Like, you ain't gotta prove you ain't gotta talk about yourself when you're working hard. People gonna notice, man. Yeah. That motherfucker's working hard.
Yeah.
He puts his time in. He's grinding. He's moving. I constantly see him doing this or her. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I constantly see her because there's a couple women that are out there that are doing their damn thing. A couple young ones that are coming up in the game that are really making a name for themselves. There's this one girl I see out there. She's out there, first year hunter, second year hunter. She's on public land by herself already. Not giving a damn, putting miles on her boots. The whole night, like, pick your poison. But like, you can't buy it back, but you can plan for it.
That's right. Yeah.
So, listen, guys, we want to thank you, again for following.
Hold on, we got to hit that random question of the day.
Oh,
man. You thought I forgot, did you?
Nah. Jason's in the background, like, you son of a gun, you forgot about your own shit. All right, bro. All right, again.
All right, we've been on this industry time of talking about all this stuff. I'm gonna ask you, Alan, how do you feel about the hunting industry? Don't hold back.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I could. All right. So this is what I'll tell you. All right. I feel as though that the good outweighs the bad in the hunting industry. Without some of the people who are industry, I wouldn't have some of the knowledge that I have right now. I definitely have learned a lot from industry people, big name sponsored people who have actually taken the time out their day to give me their phone numbers or DM'd. And I've had conversations with a couple of them, talking guys from, Badlands, talking couple different people. I don't know if I'm not just ain't gonna name drop it, but I've spoke to some really, really good people in this industry. I do think the good outweighs the bad. But here's my but, right? Social media has thrown hunting into the stratosphere with everybody wanting to do it, everybody wanting to understand it. It's a good thing. We're getting more people out in the woods. We're getting more tags filled. We're getting more money for DNRs, all these other things too, right?
Conservation, but
social media is fucked this industry up. Pardon my language, straight up, dude, because too many people want to be something that they're not. Too many people want to just, fake the funk, and I feel as though like it's gonna blow back up in our face at some point, But I think the industry as a whole produces a lot of good people, because I've met them, I've hunted with some of them, But
it's.
I think that there's.
It's
social media is the part of the industry that I'm growing to start to really not like.
Yeah. No,
Watching
there's a
just the
big,
shit that people put out there as misrepresentations is bothersome. I hope that
yeah.
answered your question.
No, I think you hit it right on the head, man. There is a big wave of it that represents the community and the wrong light, I believe. But there's still some genuine people out there
There are.
that understand. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good people out there, and it, like you said, there's a lot of perks to it, and there's a lot of, if you can feed through and filter through the bullshit, at the end of the day, it's a good thing because it's getting more people involved, giving people opportunities, helping people mentally, physically, everything. It's that's kind of where I was at. Like,
that's a loaded question, brother.
No, it is. It is.
And
it's
that's
a very
why it's a random
controversial
question. Mark and I don't plan this. Mark and I, we don't plan these questions. I don't know. As you can tell, I forgot about this one. But like, these are questions where like, and we stunted me with that one.
Yeah, and we'd love to see y'all's feedback on these questions in the comments. On YouTube or iTunes. Answer these questions yourself, because I'd love to hear what y'all think about it. Also, man, it's All
right, so here's one at the top of the head for you. All right.
Okay.
Is a fully capable, physically able, male or female, who chooses to use a crossbow, a bow hunter?
Yes. Yes. I think I wouldn't say they're a bow hunter. I call them a crossbow hunter. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference there. But, I've had this conversation with numerous people too, and it's like, oh, he's using a crossbow, he's cheating, you hear that sometimes. But at the end of the day, you're using a dude shooting a trad bow, cutting his own arrows, fletching his own arrows, probably looks at a dude shooting a compound like he's cheating. You know what I'm saying? So, look at it in that. Yeah, you know what I mean? So unless you're actually going out there whittling your own stick to carve your own arrow, stringing your own bow, cutting your own bow,
So when they're out there and they say, "Hey, I shot this with my bow," and you see the photo and the crossbow's laying on the ground and they shot it at 75 yards, that's
not. You shot it with a crossbow. You didn't shoot it with your bow. You shot it with a crossbow. You know what I mean? So there's a big difference there. There's a skill level that's not. I don't care to take it for what it is. A crossbow hunter has an easier chance of harvesting than somebody shooting a compound. Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it out the box and shoot something at 70 freaking yards. You can't take any bow out the box to a beginner and have them shoot anything at 10 yards,
No. So at the end of the day, do I think the skill set's different? Yeah, for sure. Would I call him a bow hunter? No, I wouldn't call him a bow hunter. I'd call him a crossbow hunter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a tough situation there too, but it is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
I can see your brain spinning.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not knocking anybody that hunts with a crossbow. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not.
Like, these are random. This is the random question of the day with a random Johnny on the spot answer. And every time, hindsight's 2020. We'll hang up at the end of this podcast, think about it, call each other back, and be like, "Shit, I might have, should have, could have said something, this, that, the other." But this is the reason why we don't prepare each other for this type of situation, right? Like, this is the question of the day. We're trying to figure out what each other's initial thoughts are of a situation, right? And so the reason why I asked you that is because I seen someone who, shot my turkey with my bow, shot my turkey with my bow, and then I see the crossbow laying down there, shot it at 65 yards, and I'm like,
yeah, you didn't shoot that turkey with your bow, you shot it with a crossbow. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
There ain't nothing wrong with it. Like I said, if that's the way you want to choose to hunt, I mean, that's what it is. But don't compare the skill sets the same. You know what I mean? It is at the end of the day. You know,
Be a
that's
crossbow
what.
hunter.
Yeah, own it. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you
Own
want
it.
to do, own it. You know,
Own it.
Yeah.
I got you. So, well,
and I think crossbows are great. You know, especially like my son. You know, that's what I've been really getting him started on instead of a shotgun or a rifle. Looking
hence
through
the
a
reason
scope.
why I didn't say children. Hence the reason
Yeah.
why I didn't say young
Oh, yeah.
teens, children, or anything like
Right.
that, because there is a place for everything. I meant
Oh, yeah, for
fully
sure.
capable,
Healthy,
fully
yeah,
physical, fully healthy, fully like
yeah.
you know, male or
Oh,
female, like in shape, ready to go, can do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, yeah. There's.
So, well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up at this point. You know, all good things got to come to an end. So, once again, guys, go follow us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all major platforms. Go drop us a like, go drop us a subscribe, a follow, and definitely drop us some comments. We definitely want to hear some feedback from y'all. You know, we appreciate the feedback that we've been getting. But once again, if you want to hear us talk about a certain topic, certain subject, if you got any ideas for a certain guest that you feel as though would mingle, you know, good with us, definitely drop us, you know, a line. Mark and I are always on there checking. We're always, you know, really appreciate you guys' feedback and what have you. It definitely helps us out in the path to growing to where we're trying to grow. Once again, big shout out to the quiet guy in the back, Mr. Jason. Mr. Jason's our DJ, our man, our editor, our true love in the background. He's the one that watches and listens to us and helps us mix everything down. So we couldn't do it without him again. So, but guys,
no, we appreciate all y'all. Like I said, we do it for y'all. You know, people that are out there working the 60 hours a week, you know, 50 hours a week, you know, out there busting their ass to get in. You know, that's the people that we're doing it for. The people that you know. So, any feedback y'all give us, we greatly appreciate it.
And remember,
you know,
work hard, play harder, put the fucking boots on the ground, baby.
That's right. Get them boots on the ground.
All right, y'all. See you next episode. Thank you, guys.
I appreciate it, Adam.